Hi everyone, welcome to this week's STI Analysis. Let's take a look at the weekly chart this week, and basically what we are seeing here is that from the drop here, STI has been trading in a range for about 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the last week, we are seeing that STI dips below the low of this bar here and rallies back up and close slightly above the previous bar close. This dip down and rallies back up from the low of this bar here. Well, signifies some of strength that's coming to the market and holding STI up. However, on this bar, we are seeing an increase in volume on the dip. That just tells us that this dip has probably drawn out some supply coming into the market. Why some? Because we look at the volume here, it is not as high as those volume that's in the background here. So therefore, it's just some. However, we are seeing some demand also coming into the market to hold STI above the trading range low. One thing to note is that technically we have broken this demand line, and we do not see STI's ability to rally back up to the demand line again. So there is some weakness in the market now. And there is a second weakness. If you can see here from the weekly chart, we have a lower low, and a lower low. The thing is not just the lower low itself, but how the lower low is formed. Basically, we are seeing some slight lower low here, then there we see another slight increase in the lower low here, but last week we see a significant increase in the lower low. This is a really thrust to the downside, and we are seeing supply that is able to move the market lower each week, and we are although we are not seeing some big volume that's coming into the market, but it just tells us the opposite side of the story, which is the demand side of the story, is that demand is not really entering the market or preparing to hold STI above the those previous weeks low, and it's just letting market drifting down towards maybe the support here. Who knows, right? But just the story is that the demand is weak in the market, so therefore there is some weakness that coming into the market. In my own opinion, I do not really see a very serious weakness, as the volume doesn't suggest that there is a lot of selling going on. What I would think is that demand may just be letting the market drift down to a more important level before it step into the market to buy. Probably may want to tire out some of the weak holders that is bought on this up move here, and because from here we have seen there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks of sideways movement. Whoever have already bought here might have already been very tired in holding the stocks for so long, especially those are bought in on margin. They might have already been out of this market, and this down move here is just basically probably going to tire out the weak holders, and this is probably what I'm seeing from the market at this moment. So there might be a possibility for STI to visit the low here, which is probably the 2906 level, the previous low of this bar here, which is coincide with a some sort of a short-term axis line, which has a resistance here, and then we have seen some resistance, then we got support, and now probably we may be coming back to this level to look for a support. So we probably will have to see how next week's bar is going to look like. Let's look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, what we can see here is that this 4 bars here, which is the Monday of last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these 4 bars here, if you look at the volume, the average volume of these 4 bars is not as high as what is in the background, which is probably almost average to low volume, and we are spending time at the low here, which to me is not selling, it's more of churning. Like the big boys are not in the market supporting the STI, and these are just driven down by probably the public and probably profit taking or selling out, close up positions and so forth. And then some people would think that there's a cheap bargain here, probably some buying going on, and then we see the market being pressured down again, and then we see some buying going on because of bargain hunting and so forth. So it's more of a churning, and it's something like waiting for something to happen. It's a similar situation where we have seen in the background here, which is we see a down, then it goes up, down, it goes back up again, and then it's just drifting sideways with no clear direction, and it's, the participation rate is not as high except for a few bars there. That is just a waiting game or something like that, if I would be seeing it that way, because we do not really see any significant volume increase until Friday. And Friday is a very interesting bar. We gap up very high, and we trade through the 3000 level, up through the 3000 level, which at one stage I was thinking that if STI is able to close at 3000 level, we might be seeing another leg up to the high of the 3031 or 3035 level, and then we might probably see a breakthrough towards the probably the higher level, 3100 or 3200 level. But we are not seeing that on Friday, and the buyers are not able to keep the 3000 level. Then sellers step in to close STI all the way down to the day's low. We are still maintaining the gap. That is some positive news to the bulls. However, the gap was closed more than half. So sellers are actually pretty strong on this bar here, but the demand was just trying its best to hold the gap. And if it can close above the 3000 level, there's also one good news, is that we are rallying above the halfway point of this down move here. However, we are not doing that, but we are closing somewhere at the middle of the down move. So there is still strength in this rally. However, that is not very convincing. So we still need Monday or Tuesday bar to tell us whether this rally has strength or not. Probably we need to see a pullback. And from this bar here, we probably likely to see a pullback, slight pullback, I believe, towards the 2975 or just slightly below 2975 to close the gap, and then we must see some convincing buying that's coming into the bar to close it on the high, or probably in the mid-range if it's a down bar, and with low volume. That's the key. That selling may have already been gone, and it will probably prepare STI to go back above or come to the resistance level for a test or fourth time. Alright, so that is what my take for the STI. And of course, if we can break the high of STI, probably the higher target would be, well, the most optimistic target would be the 3240 level, 3200 to 3240 level. So that is probably the range that we want to look for if it's able to break out of this resistance. But once it breaks this key level, which is 2945, we have to be very careful, because I believe this level is a very critical level, and we are seeing some support that is coming into the market for this down move here, and then we see STI bounce off from this level. So if we are going to visit this level again, there is weakness. And the next bar, if it's going to come, next one or two bars, if it's going to come towards this level, very close to this level, it is probably weakness also. So because we have already seen weakness in the weekly chart, and we hopefully do not see a development of further weakness in the daily chart, because that will make the weakness in the weekly chart more pronounced, and the downside will probably be coming to see this level very soon. Which on the weekly chart we say that it might have a chance to come back here for a test. So that is my take on the downside for STI. And currently direction is not really totally clear. We still have a very even chance of going up or coming down, and that will probably be interpreted as a sideways movement or STI for next week. and so we would have to trade carefully with on the STI. And if we would like to look at all the component stocks of STI, study the chart, some stocks have already developing weakness, some stocks are holding on their gains, and some stocks has some climatic action on the last week. So you would want to see them more carefully, because I believe on the overall there is some weakness that's coming to the market, and we just have to be very careful. So that is my take for STI for the coming week. I will talk to you next week. Thanks.